The first time this character showed up, I defended her as not being a Mary Sue. If you haven't seen that video, it's a pretty good one. It's one where I talk about what the concept of Mary Sue's. Oh, like no one's seen that. Wow, look how few views there are. But me singing the Mary Sue song, really? That's what got all the views? Bad singing.
And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell. I'm Rob, the host, and this is another look deep into what makes a story, a theory on storytelling by a storyteller who believes that every story has merit. And tonight's episode is
Learning from Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, yes, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and I enjoyed the movie. I even think that most people would enjoy sitting through the movie. But I'm going to be honest, I understand why there are complaints, and there are some flaws. Now, people exaggerate some of them to the point where they just are complaining on the internet to complain. But let's be honest, such a huge drop is not something that Disney, Lucasfilms, wants at all. What they want is to appeal to the most number of us ever. And yeah, there were some good and bad in the original trilogy, and obviously not everything was planned out perfectly. But at the end of the day, The Last Jedi felt like it took too many ideas and went the wrong way with it. Went too far. Now, I've been making jokes about The Last Jedi since before we even knew what the plot was going to be. And I've been putting these memes up that are kind of funny. So I know that there were some of us that really had high expectations, and that's a problem too. But as we get ready for the third installment in this trilogy, I think we have some thinking to do. But first, for those of you that don't know, what I do here is examine stories, figure out what makes them tick on the inside, and then review them and give theory videos like this. If that sounds interesting, click that subscribe button and join me as I try to get to the heart of the stories we tell. Now, normally I do for reviews the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to do this a little different this time. We're going to talk about good idea, bad idea, based on the old Animaniacs skit. Example, good idea, making a Catwoman film. Everyone wants that. Bad idea, naming a film Catwoman that has nothing to do with it and is really badly written. Now that you get the idea, though, this is a film that definitely needs a spoiler warning. Lots of things that I'm going to discuss are things you might not want to know on your first viewing. So let me throw this up there and get started.
so once again it's stop spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
If you're still here, I assume you've already seen this movie, or at least have been spoiled so much that it doesn't matter. So let's unpack the whole idea of what I'm talking about. A lot of these things are things that I think would have been a good idea if they had done it in moderation. So let's get started with my first good idea, bad idea. Good idea. Make Kylo Ren and Rey opposites, equal in every way except for their training and reverse of each other. Bad idea. Not following through on that at all and just saying it as a way to excuse why she's so powerful. Get the idea of where I'm going with this yet? Alright, let's try one more simple one. Good idea. Let's have a really adult, dark, edgy, kind of gray area where things can go either way. Bad idea. Doing so just to throw it away in the third act. Yeah, we'll talk more about that at the end of this video. Alright, big one. Good idea. Good idea is to subvert expectations. And when she handed that lightsaber to Luke at the end of the last movie, everyone expected that the words out of his mouth should have been something like, Rey, is that you? Or, oh my god, is that really you? Or something like that, because he would know her, and we'd get this whole big in-depth explanation, and that's why he doesn't have any lines, because whatever it is would be spoilery, and this was all one big mystery. What is Luke going to say? And that mystery box sat with us for 2 years as people put theories out. And I'll be honest, I jumped in on that too. Now, I didn't until the trailers came out, but with the whole it's time for the Jedi to end, and I'll take credit. I got part of my theory right, even though it wasn't all right. But at the end of the day, we expected some big reveal. What's going to happen when Jedi Master Luke Skywalker once again has his hands on his father's lightsaber and is looking across at Rey? Does he know the answer to the most important question we've been asking for 2 years? Who is Rey? Well, he just throws the lightsaber. And in and of itself, that was kind of cool. I mean, It was a total subversion of what you expected the scene to be, and was funny. If that was the shocker, I honestly think this movie would be Rotten Tomatoes history maker. But no, it went more than that. He didn't care, and no one cared about who Rey really was, and who she was ended up just being nobody. After 2 years of guessing, is she a Skywalker? Is she a Solo? Is she a Kenobi? Is she related to Palpatine? Nope, just her parents are nobodies, which in and of itself could have been a cool reveal if Luke had also been so different, and if everything else. Like the Knights of Ren, you remember those? They played a very important part in the last movie, The Force Awakens. They were Kylo's troops that came back with him to the Jedi Academy. Everybody and their brother had a theory about it. They put out books detailing what they looked like and what their equipment was. And these Knights of Ren don't even get a mention when we finally get the reveal of how the Academy was destroyed. Not one word. Luke never even saw them. When he woke up, it was already destroyed. And yeah, that's something that could be fleshed out later, but it's also one of those things where, hey, you were expecting more. And as each of these dominoes pile up, one knocking over the next, you're noticing there's a lot of expectations subverted. In fact, almost all of them. What's the next big question? Oh, what about Snoke? Snoke's gotta be important. I mean, they even told us that he's been around since before the first movie, right? And those scars obviously match up to so many different things that we could think about. And people have been theorizing, and Disney's been teasing, and nothing. The entire big badass Force user got taken down by a simple trick, a play on words, and I. Now, that's not going to say that there wasn't badassery. The fight sequence immediately afterwards was awesome. Him throwing Rey around beforehand was awesome. But the whole thing just felt so, well, hollow. And it came immediately after the whole. By the way, who is Rey? Rey is no one. But alright, let's move on a bit. Another good idea, bad idea. This one dealing with Captain Phasma. Great idea. Let's bring back this character that everyone said had potential. Bring back Gwendolyn Christie because she's an awesome actress and give her more to do. Bad idea. Have her be in one scene and have nothing really important to do. Now, yes, Boba Fett didn't have anything really important to do in the original trilogy and had even less screen time. I've heard that argument ad nauseum. But he took off by accident. This was a very planned and carefully illustrated character that was created to take off, and then they gave her, if anything, less screen time in this movie than they did in Force Awakens. Who are you satisfying with that? Not the people that wanted more, and anyone that didn't want more was happy with how it ended in the last movie. So, I don't know. Good idea, bad idea. Remember I said just a minute ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, that these two being equals and opposites and there being a gray between them? That was a great idea. It was all set up by Del Toro's character when he explains the fact that, hey, good guys, bad guys, they all get sold to by the same arms manufacturer. Everything's gray. Gotta be out for yourself, gotta think for yourself. That subplot I thought was setting up the reverse of the original trilogy's role. The idea that Han Solo might have had the right idea, light, dark, throw them both out, somewhere in the middle is gray. And we had this whole great thought process where Rey might be turning to the dark side. In fact, Kylo even tells her point blank, you will turn to the dark side to protect me. The film has a great setup. If you think about it, Luke's already made her feel like he's not really good, and he told her the whole Jedi must end thing. We found out his role in Kylo's origin, and Kylo actually gets a little bit of redemption. And then she's being tortured. The idea of the two of them working together no longer seems that ridiculous. In fact, it seems badass. And in that moment when you sit there and you look and you say, is there a light, is there a dark, or is there a gray? Nope, we get the same old, no, I'm the good guy. Overall, I liked that still. But it did make the theme feel weird. Like, we had this whole build-up of gray just to be told, nope, light and dark. And that'll then bring us to our next one. And on its surface, this part of the bad idea doesn't sound so bad. Good idea. Let's have Carrie Fisher have a really awesome moment and have Leia be the king badass of this great idea. Unfortunately, she died. And she's not going to be able to carry the torch into the next movie, even though obviously that's what they set up for. So the bad idea is not going back to reshoot to give us some form of closure. At the end of the day, this character isn't going to be liked enough to carry on for her, and this one was just shown to be too stupid. Yeah, by the end he was kind of going well. What are you waiting for? Follow him. But at the same time, all of this setup with how badass Leia is, a reshoot could have, I don't know, given us a little more. Kylo Ren never even finds out that his mother didn't die in the explosion that his wingman caused, and that alone would have been a brilliant setup. Luke never gets a real goodbye with her, and no one does. So what, is the next big crawl going to be like, okay, General Leia died fighting such and such, and now they're at her funeral or something? I mean, we're going to need to set up how she died, what's going on with the First Order, and who's her replacement as the leader of the Resistance. And remember, all the ones we know, Mon Mothma, Akbar, they're all gone. So we have these new characters that we might be able to rely on. But again, our new general didn't get a lot of likability, and Poe was just shown to be too hothead. And can I just say that if these two characters could have just gotten along a little more, or at least, had a full adult conversation, half the movie plot wouldn't have happened because they would have been on the same page instead of arguing. Well, to be fair, then the movie wouldn't have happened, so whatever. Alright, so good idea, bad idea. Diversity. In fact, I'm going to go beyond that. This is a great idea. Let's have more representation in movies. Man, I love that. In fact, Star Wars did pretty good. Take a look at this cast. I mean, yeah, this cast is a little more diverse. I will give you that. But at the end of the day, she's the hero of this movie, and that's awesome. But let's not forget, Leia was pretty much a hero too, even way back in the day. So great idea. Let's bring in women and people of color and everything else and get everyone in this. That's great. The bad idea. The bad idea is resting on it and getting mad and saying, oh, well, if you don't like what Finn did in this movie, you must be racist. The strength of these movies is in how they pull together. And point blank, in the last movie, in Force Awakens, Boyega and, why can't I remember any of the real names, Rey and Finn and Poe, are great characters. And in this one, we bring in Del Toro's character that was, well, wasted. But in this one, so kind of was Poe and Finn. I mean, realistically, they just cause a lot of problems and get shown how wrong they are time and time again. And yeah, that's, I guess, some growth, but realistically, Finn had gone through a lot of growth during The Force Awakens that felt that they regressed here. Him standing up and saying rebel scum, and as far as I'm concerned, should have been in the first act, not the third. And Poe, I don't know what they were thinking about. There's part of me that says that they wanted to really make a point about the macho, I'm going to do it myself isn't the way to go. And I liked that, but at the same time, they didn't need to keep hammering it home. And yeah, I realize I'm starting to sound like all those other complainers. So let me remind you, I like these movies. I gave this movie a high rating. I gave it a gold, and I still think it's worth seeing in theaters. Being able to examine what it is that didn't work doesn't mean that there isn't a lot that did. But just like the DC movies that I always talk up about, you can find something good in anything, and you can find something bad in anything. And either way, there's a lesson to be learned, and I think those lessons are something we should be learning from these movies, both as spectators and as movie makers. Because at the end of the day, we all want better movies, right? At the end of the day, I don't even lay all the problems with Last Jedi at the Last Jedi's feet. A lot of it I blame on The Force Awakens and the damn mystery box. Mystery boxes are great things. They get your anticipation up, they get you to engage, they get you to want to learn more, but if you don't know what's on in them when you start, you end up with polar bears. Where the hell were why polar bears? Those numbers did not mean seat numbers. Those, just every single bit of it, you didn't plan that out at all, Abrams, and you did it again. You didn't plan, and then you expected us And even red herrings should have explanations because you should be prepared with them. And Abrams is back for 9, so let's hope he learns from this mistake and gives us a fulfilling end to this trilogy when we open that mystery box. At least those are my thoughts. What were yours? Let me know down below. I know this movie's getting quite a few people riled up on the internet, so please be kind in those comments. But I'll make a response video if I get enough comments. And of course, if you like this type of content, click that like button and share my video. And of course, if this is your first time here, subscribe. Right now I'm at just shy of 90 subscribers, and when I hit 100, I'm going to do a special video where I give away an Amazon gift card. So if that entices you, or if you just want to be part of the community, I'd really like to hear from you. But for now, may the Force be with you, and I hope you had fun walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.